Welcome to Bond SCX. This is week 36, September 6th to September 10th. This is Lance, the Bargain Stock Bounty Hunter. Back at you again with another great video. I got my special guest, Daz, joining me today, and we're going to do some good call outs. And man, I really wish we could do some reviews from last week because, man, we did some really good call outs last week. So a lot of things came down to our price point, and been mentioning Snapchat for a couple of weeks, and Snapchat really showed improved last week quite a bit. So going to the normal scans I do. So if you're a new subscriber, I use a scan I do on the weekend, and that is a X marks the spot for me as far as kind of going to a map and pointing me in a direction to go look into the charts. So on this X marks the spot, I pull trend, I pull true value. It tells me a lot of information that helps me, guides me into making good decisions and price points for stocks. And so starting out, I normally go to the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange to kind of see where those indexes are going. A lot of times that kind of gives us direction into where the price points are going to be. And so when I look at the stock market, looking at the Nasdaq, and we can kind of zoom in a little bit and see exactly the market is going down quite a bit. And we see, when I look at my Williams alligators, everything is crossing over into bearish mode. So everything is greens over the blue, the reds over the blue, and the teal is over the blue as well. And I'm zooming back out a little bit, and we have been here before. So we look back at the time frame right after the Ukraine war started. We see where the market kind of pumped up, and then we saw a drastic pull back down and pulled back down to this really, really dangerous zone that we want to call a stock market crash, and gives us some kind of thoughts of a pre-recession. So we see another pump back up. We saw that pump start back in June, and now we see another fall back down. And this time, this fall back down looks like it's going to come down back into this danger zone. And what we want to see is, will it fall back through and fall below this danger zone? So we saw a low on the year of 10,565. Will we see that low again? Don't know. But definitely this week, I do see a bearish sign. Do see everything falling down. Could see a little support here. We see that Thursday, Friday. Could see a little support here with us being in a short week, and see a little support here and finishing off Friday somewhere around the 11,800 range to 11,995 range. So that's what I kind of expect to see, and also see that in the momentum, a little bit of a pullback, but I don't think that'll last long. I think we'll see constant resistance on the green, and possibly actually below that some. So that's what I'm looking like on the Nasdaq. Moving on to the New York Stock Exchange, and very similar. We see a resistance here a couple weeks back on the SMA, and we see again a pullback down into the danger zone. And we see we've been in this danger zone for quite a while, June and July. We see we're back here again, and I think that's going to continue to be that way a little bit more for this week and probably the week to come. But with a short week, typically in short weeks, we don't see a lot of pumps in the market. Typically, you may see 1 or 2 days, market will push some. Typically, you'll see the price tend to fall mostly in short weeks. And so see a little bit of a pullback on the momentum, but I would say for the most part, this one will come down some. Possibly end Friday with a 14,737 on the New York Stock Exchange to around 14,967. So somewhere around that range. Again, we see this same trend down that we saw not too long ago, right after the Ukraine war. We see the same fall back down here. So very similar pattern that we're seeing. We don't see the market really turning strong anytime soon. So that's where the market is. So let's go to the plays of the week. Starting out with Snapchat this week. So we've called this one out 3 weeks in a row. I still think there's some opportunity there. It's really kind of taken off, as I mentioned earlier last week. And so it's trending at a slight 2 up which is a upward trend, 7 cents overpriced. So it's slightly overpriced. Still think you can get in cheaper than that at a true value of $11.15. So let's go to the charts and let's look at Snapchat this week. So looking at a 1 year, 1 day, I won't go through what I've analyzed before, but you can see we can see this market starting to move up, and we see the price point starting to come up higher, momentum starting to get a little better. And we called this one out, like I said, 3 weeks in a row, gone 1040, 2 weeks in a row. That's gone 1091, 1043. They've all come down our price point. So definitely good opportunity to get in. You could see last week you could have got in and made about 14% between my price point and Friday. And if you caught it at the low, it made anywhere to about 19 to 20%, 21% on Friday. So good call outs we made last couple of weeks. Still think this one has some opportunity. I do see this one coming down potentially around this low progression line. So I think 968 is a great price point for me by this week. The opportunity to get out somewhere about 14 to maybe 28% if we're lucky. I think the market will be close to the 14% opportunity for Snapchat. I do see the teal green being really close to each other, red and blue. Everything's really tight. So I think this week will be really tight. So you want to capture your gains pretty tight as soon as they get green. Kind of want to hold them in. But you can definitely hold this one a lot longer, I believe. But if you're trying to get by Friday, I would think you definitely want to be tight with your trades. But so for me, Snapchat, I'm going in with $9.68 this week with the opportunity to make, somewhere around 14 to 15%, even in a bearish week. So that's my call out for Snapchat this week. That's what's your call out for Snapchat.
Yeah, I got down $9.53.
Now 53. Close. What's your thoughts? Any thoughts on Snapchat? Like it, love it, hate it?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I think it's just been beat down too much. Had a little bit of meme play with it too, but I mean, overall, I think it's a good stock. I think it's still undervalued. Like, I'm looking at it still under the EMA. Just went a little bit bearish over my 200 I got. So I think long term you can't really go wrong with it. I'm looking at probably 20%.
Okay, good. Sounds good. So moving on to the next one this week. Morgan Stanley comes in at a short-term trade for me. Coming in at a flat trend, 84 cents on sale at a true value of $87.24. Going to the charts on Morgan Stanley, haven't called this one out this year, so first time analyzing this one, so I'll kind of start from 1 year, 1 day. We see these purple lines here are what I call the cake band. Sorry, that actually is a stronghold of the stock. That's kind of where the price wants to be. It's going to either stay above that or stay below that, and then typically reside in there for a short period of time. And so we see it for the most part of last year. It was above this band, pretty steady, actually pretty flat. And then we see since February, March timeframe, this one pulled back down, kind of hung around in the cake value range for about a month or a month and a half. And it came down, and now it's hit a low recently of $72.05 in July. You see a strong pullback to get it back into the zone where it wants to be. And now we see a little resistance on the SMA, and now it's back out of the zone, back in the zone. So it's kind of teeter-tottering back and forth there. So I see a little opportunity with the momentum. Looks like it's turning around a little bit on this one. I like where the MACD is. It's still above. I do think there's an opportunity to get in at a lower price than the true value mark. And I think this one come out of the progression zone I'm seeing. Don't really necessarily like how it's resisting in this cake band here. And so I like to see it take a little bit more of a stronger hold, gain support here, and then take off and blow above the SMA. And so I see the teal below the blue, not necessarily the best part of where we want it to be. And then we see the green and red both both really close to the blue mark. So it's not quite full bearish and not quite bullish either. Again, I said it's coming in flat this week. So I really like it at 83.86. I think get in at 83.86. I think by this week, by Friday, you're looking at potential to get out by 85.76, getting out around $87. So somewhere around 2 to 3% gain in this week. So again, it's a short week. Want to be really tight on your trades. If this one pulls bearish pretty quick tomorrow, Wednesday, get in 83.86 is not a bad price. And again, this one will want to be back in the zone pretty quickly based on what it's been lately. So feel pretty confident with 83.86 this week for Morgan Stanley. That's what you call out for Morgan Stanley this week.
So for me, I know it's a cheat and I kind of got two, but I want to see how it reacts if it goes down to 83.13.
Okay.
But that's my first one. But I think overall 81.12.
Ooh,
That's
real
ideal.
bearish. Real bearish. 81.12.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 81.12 is what we're going with this week.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 78.80.
I was kind of looking at that too. That's about 75, 78.80. I could see that. In this week or just next 2 weeks?
Next 2 weeks. I wouldn't say
Okay.
this week.
Okay. I would think this week, yeah, it's going to be quick. If it does come back for a little bullish run, be pretty quick. I don't think it'll last long though. So I agree with you on I think it's going to be bearish more long term. I see a little bit of an opportunity this week. That's something I'm seeing here that I like. Resistance here, back down. See if it'll come back and show a little bit more resistance. So, all right. Moving on to the next one this week. Sunworks comes in at a flat trend, 26 cents on sale, true value of $3.48. So Sunworks, a solar company, a solar power company, and scanned the stock in the past and saw some good things on the charts, and I wanted to start calling this one out just based on what I'm seeing in this week. So let's look at Sunworks overall 1 year, 1 day. A year ago this time, it was about $7.56. And we see this one has been in a pretty much a bearish, bearish trend since then. See a little bit of a spike up. We see a lot of manipulation on March 8th with 35 million shares buying at a price point of a low of $3.48 to a high of $5.11. So we figured, hey, that's got to be covered. And look at what we see here. Pretty much on August 16th, we see the covering of that manipulation. And so we see also before then, we see this one bust through the SMA. Looks like it's resisting somewhere in this cake band that I have here. It looks like it's coming down for another potential support on the SMA. So I like this one. It just had earnings call a couple weeks ago. And I like what I'm seeing here in the chart that this one's coming down just a little bit. We'll see if it'll support on the blue. I think it'll come down a little bit more than that this week. And potentially, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and resides on this SMA before it pulls back. But I do like it at $2.72 this week, again, with the potential for it to come out by Friday, somewhere around the $3 range to $3.30, somewhere around 9 to 20% this week. And again, that's if it comes down this low. I think it'll pull back pretty quickly. I like the momentum. MACD is a little high for what I like, but I do see potential for this one to pull back just based on the MACD itself. It is tracking. It has gone past divergent and now it's converging. So I feel like it will track what we're seeing here on the charts with MACD and the momentum. So that's where I'm going this week with Sunworks. It's $2.72. That's what your call out for Sunworks this week.
Yeah, so for me, I got down $2.63.
That's pretty close. 263. Any thoughts on Sunworks stats?
I think it's a long-term play, and my pick, honestly, I'm just playing the a few support levels in the SMA, honestly.
Okay. And this one is a penny stock, and I'm not a fan of penny stocks. If you haven't heard me in previous videos, I really avoid penny stocks. But this one looks good. I think a little bit more short term for me, but again, I'm not a big fan of penny stocks, but this one's one I would definitely advise jumping in if you can. This is my personal belief. This one do good this week. So, see a lot of volume coming in on this one over the last month. So, all right. Any more thoughts on Sunworks status?
No, not for me.
All right. Coming in this week at a flat trend is Robinhood. Robinhood for a long-term play for me, 33 cents on sale, coming in at a true value of $9.78. So called out Robinhood quite a bit this year, and it's been very promising over the last few months as far as making a lot of money. I'm not going to go back through all the analysis I've done. You can watch some of the previous Robinhood call out videos, but we can see where we've called it out over the last few weeks. Came down to my price back in July, and definitely took off from there. Missed out, looks like in August. It didn't quite come down to my price point. And so we see quite a bit of a pullback pretty much since August 16th. We see a resistance here on this progression band. It never really got close to the SMA. So it hasn't actually tested the SMA as we like to see. So there's an opportunity for it to come back and test that point here. So there's some uncovered manipulation from the 20 million shares that were purchased on August 16th. And we see the opportunity for this one to come back somewhere around the $11 range. So we'll see that manipulation be covered at some point in the near future. I don't think it'll be covered this week, but I do see an opportunity this week for this one to be down to around the $9.03 range. I'll see a little bit of resistance on the blue, come back down, and we'll see by Friday potential for this one to be somewhere around the 943, 972. So about 3 to 8% gain potential this week. Like the momentum chart here, see a little bit of a pullback in the MACD, which I'm liking, and it's tracking the way we want to see it track. It's gone from divergent to convergent. So definitely a good opportunity this week for Robinhood. Get in long term. Again, I do think it's going to come back, attack this SMA, definitely cover this manipulation from August 16th. So definitely one you can hold, but definitely by Friday, you can get out with a nice gain, I believe, this week, even with the market turning bearish. So going in with Robinhood with $9.03 this week. That's what you call out for Robinhood this week.
Yeah, we're extremely close. I put down 901.
Really?
Yeah.
901. Really close. What's your thoughts? I know you hate Robinhood, so I'm not even gonna go there with you.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly probably would, if it makes me money, I'll get into it. But I mean, no, I just got some pretty good support there. And on, what was it, August 3rd, the volume kicked up where the support line is close to too. So I think it's a lot.
Right after earnings call.
Yep. Yeah, right there.
And then one thing too, I think a lot of people who have kind of, not really been real close to Robinhood, they've really turned up the crypto meter quite a bit lately. They've got more cryptocurrency than I've seen them have over the last 2 or 3 years. And so they typically had the same cryptocurrency for years, and now they've got so many options. And so I think they're trying to compete with Coinbase and those kind of companies. And so I would say that the future is probably a lot more brighter for them than it's been in the recent past. So we'll see. I think definitely this week though. It's not a bad. Those are not bad prices at all. So all right. Anything else about Robinhood, Beth?
No, you know how I feel about that one.
All right, moving on down the list. So Warner Brothers comes up on the list. And this one's trending down slightly at a -2. So typically don't like calling out stocks that are trending down, but I do see something in the charts that I want to point out. We did call Warner Brothers out last week, and it's coming in 31 cents on sale at a true value of $13.37. I do think we can get in a lot cheaper. Again, it's 13.06 at the end of day Friday. I want to look at the charts. I do like what I'm seeing here. I'm not going to go through analysis since we did call this one out. Actually, the last week. So called this one out last week. Did come down to price for us, or for me and Daz. It came down Thursday, and then came back up on Friday. So didn't come to the expected price point by Friday, but got pretty close. It stayed below the EMA and resisted on the green. I think we'll see that continue this week. So I'm gonna go in a little bit lower than I did last week at 1270. I do start to see the MACD in a nice place. Momentum's in a nice place. I do feel like this one will come up a little bit more this week. And by Friday, potentially by Friday, 1331 to about 1403. So anywhere between 10 and 4.5% by Friday. Definitely can hold this one a little longer. There's still some uncovered manipulation that I mentioned in the last video back on August 8th that needs to be covered. And you can see really last week, it just really stayed flat. Came down a little bit Thursday and Friday, but didn't do a lot last week. So maybe this week will be a better week for this one to do something. So we'll see. But I'm thinking 1278 is a good price point, and that's where I'm going in this week with Warner Brothers. Daz, what's your call out for Warner Brothers this week?
Yeah, I got close again. I got 1279. Honestly,
1279. It is close. Man. 3 times so far this video.
yes, it's crazy. But same thing. I'm looking at the support level from August 22nd.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, did I buy some Warner Brothers last week? I don't think I got in on Warner Brothers. Oh, Snapchat. All right. Anything else on Warner Brothers this week, Daz?
Not for this one.
All right. Moving on down the list, and Lithium Americas comes in. This is a lithium battery company coming in a trend of a -2. So another one that's pulling down on the market. It's coming in at $1.78 on sale. 29.17 is its true value. So let's go to the charts again. This is another one definitely trending down a little bit more over the last month. So I'm going to go to the charts, and since we have called this one out before. It looks like actually called this one out back in February of this year. See it come down to price, come down below, support on the SMA, and it pretty much took off a couple weeks after we called it out. So if you look at where it went from the time we called it out to the top, you're looking at 49% in 38 days. If you caught it down here, 38 days, you got 66%. So pretty good turnaround on this one from the last time we called it out. Haven't seen an opportunity to call this one out as of late until this week. So that's why I want to call this one out this week. We can look at where it's been over the last year. And it's just kind of in above the cake range, down and out. support on SMA, up above, down and out, busts through the SMA on the downside, resisted the SMA back in May. And we see a low of about 1889 in July, and since then it's taken back off, back where it wants to be in the price range, and now it's down below. It looks like we're seeing some support on the SMA, so I really like what I'm seeing in this one. In this week, I do believe you can get a little lower. I think it will fall below the SMA some more based on the teal is crossed over the red, green is crossed over the red, hasn't gone full bearish. I do think it'll come down some more this week. Just looking at the MACD, a little bit on the momentum, a little pull back up. So we'll see a support here, see a resistance on the EMA. I think it'll come down some more. And I think about 25.88 is a great price point for me. Getting out by Friday, 27.34, about 28.49. So anywhere about 10.5 to 6% potential this week. And but I think 25.88 is a great price point for Lithium Americas. That's where I'm going at this week. That's what your call out for Lithium Americas this week.
Sorry about that, mute button. I got 25.74.
Still pretty close, man. 25.74. Any thoughts on Lithium America you want to share?
I think it's gonna be a big thing in the future, though. You know, all the battery recycling and going green. I think that's what they do. I do some more research with them, but I will say I think I missed the run though. It used to be 37 cents back in 08.
Did it really?
Yeah. And then 2019 it was trading at like, no, excuse me, 2020 it was trading like around like $2 and some change.
This is back when you said in 2008. I'm sorry. She said.
Yeah, 2008 and 2020. It was trading like around like $2.
Wow. 37 cents. So that was probably back when wasn't very many electric cars probably being talked about at that time. So yeah, I mean this company's been around a lot longer than I thought. I haven't done a lot of research on it, so I didn't realize it's been around that long. It's good to know, though. Good to know. All right. So, any more thoughts on Lithium Americas?
No, not for me.
All right. And last but not least, STEM. It's an energy company coming in at a -2 trend, 74 cents on sale, true value of $14.91. Go to STEM on the charts to show you what I'm looking at here. So we haven't called this one out before. This one's new. I think I've only been scanning it for a couple weeks now. So I saw a great opportunity this week. If you look at it from a year ago, you see this one has a high of $27.50. Definitely way above what I call the cake range. And we see a lot of resistance on the SMA back in this point in time. And we see a drastic bearish trend. And we see it try to turn a little bit bullish here in March, but since November to March of this year, hasn't seen a whole lot of movement in this stock price going upward. See another drop back down, comes down to a $5.72 range in May, and went really flat. And now we see after earnings call, what do we see? Bust through the SMA, right? So that's kind of what we want to see. I'm actually lost a little bit more money than expected on its earnings per share, but nonetheless, see momentum start to catch here. We see this going from, looks like it's going, like it's tracking here, not necessarily going divergent. And then we actually see the price point tracking down a little bit here. And so we see a little bit of a negative trend, as I mentioned earlier. See the teal cross the green, the green is still above the red and the blue, which is still a good sign. I do think you could get in at 1287 this week. Wouldn't be surprised if some drops down. It supports on this SMA mark. But I don't know if he'll do that this week. But I do think 1287 this week with opportunity to get out around 1350 to 1424. So 10.5 to almost 5% this week. I feel like you can get with STEM. So that's where I'm gonna put my alert at 1287 this week, and hopefully for an opportunity to get in on STEM this week. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with the MACD and also with the momentum, and definitely see some potential from some of the support in the past here. So 1287 is my go-in price with STEM this week. That's what's your call out for STEM.
I got 1364.
1364. We're pretty off on that one. What are you seeing for this one this week?
There's like some short-term support. It's
Okay.
trading. I feel like it's about to just start trading really flat. I mean, MACD is pretty close.
Okay.
Volume's kind of low the past few days, so I don't see any significance coming up for it, honestly.
Okay. So 1364. All right. Mark it down. All right. Any other thoughts for this week, Daz?
Be mindful what you think about, putting your money in this week. That's just me. I think it's gonna be a little bearish. I'm a little bearish this week.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think the market's gonna definitely shave some fat off the pig, and wouldn't surprise me if we see some more shaving next week as well. So definitely, like Dad says, be careful, be mindful. Don't rush just to buy things at any price if you're wanting to just jump in a stock because everything looks cheap. Sometimes if it's cheap, it means it's probably a bad sign if it's too cheap, right? So good chance to it's a good opportunity to get into some of the blue chip stocks, though, some of your major heavy hitter stocks, if you just want to just buy stock. But I wouldn't just be in a hurry to jump in and buy anything this week. So definitely do your homework, look at the charts, make sure things look good, price points look good, support looks good. What we're trying to explain in the video is some of the things we see in the charts, but also do your own analysis. So I really appreciate you joining me, Daz, and all the viewers. Please continue to subscribe, continue to hit the like button, continue to please comment if you have any companies you want us to scan, any companies you want us to pull out some price points. Please share with any other person you know that likes stocks and want to do any technical analysis or want to see any technical analysis. And again, I really appreciate the support. And good week, good luck trading this week, and thank you for joining us.